Welcome back again, league winners. Listen, guys, do you want to win your league? Because we win ours. Did you did you win your league last year? Because I did, uh, and Adam did too. Are you guys currently 3-0 and in first place in your league this year? Because I am, and Adam is too. And if you guys want to be, in the same boat, just tune in, right? We got a couple things today. We're going to go over Thursday night football and Monday night football. So we're going to give you two games today. How are you this morning, bro?
I'm killing it, man. I'm already on the East Coast out here, so we're already halfway through the day, making moves, making shit happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Came home from work just to do this, and then I will be leaving directly after to continue.
Really quickly, I thought about you last night.
Well, that's sweet.
Yeah, no, it was, dude. My mom had came over to watch Braxton, and she made some like barbecue chicken in like this pan, and it came time to like clean up, and I thought about you because I looked at that pan. I looked at that pan just soaked in barbecue. I just threw it away. I didn't even wash it. I just threw the pan straight in the trash, bro.
You pulled one out of my playbook.
Yeah, dude, I couldn't do it. I was looking at it. I said, "No way, dude. No way."
It just looks terrible.
Oh, dude, I threw it. It's in the trash right now. I don't even think I took it out. It's still in there. But anyways, guys, let's get into this. We got the Thursday night. Adam Statman stats all pulled up, so let's get into it.
All right, we got. We're gonna start Thursday. We got Dolphins Bengals. Bengals currently -3.5. That's what it was last night. I would assume it's probably the same. 3.5 over under 47. Not bad.
Did that line go up?
I believe it went from 3 to 3.5. I would have to check it. Ultimately, yesterday when I saw this line, I thought it was a bit odd. But now I don't at all. In fact, I think that Bengals easily cover this. Why? Because Dolphins are on a short week. Tua's banged up. In fact, during that game, bro, I don't care what anybody says, homie had a concussion. Did you see him wobbling?
I saw him waddle like waddle.
Hey, bro, he was wobbly. And he just came right back in the game. So it wouldn't even surprise me if like that whole organization gets fined for some shit. So Tua's banged up. I also don't really like Tua. I think that he's had two unbelievable games, crazy upsets on a short week, banged up. This is not a good spot for Tua. I do not believe that this is a good spot for Tua. And unfortunately, with that being said, I do think that ultimately Tyreek and Waddle are going to suffer a bit. Bengals, middle of the road pass D. And
does Eli Apple is he still in that secondary?
Oh yeah.
All right, I like Waddle.
Correct. And yeah, absolutely. And we'll get to that. So middle of the road pass defense, giving up an average of 16 fantasy points per game to receivers. They've only given up one touchdown though to receivers this year. We're talking about Bengals defense. Given up third most yards to tight ends in the league, although also not allowing any touchdowns. And tight ends ultimately only averaging about 6.7 fantasy points per game, so that's not great. But they do give up a lot of yards. Above the league average against the run, only giving up about 86 yards a game. So with all of that being said about the Bengals defense, the only people that I am even remotely okay with, in fact, I have them in my excited list. Which would be,
you have a column?
What's that?
You have a column? You have an excited column?
Yeah, I got a fine column and an excited column.
I love it. Adam Statman Jones with the fucking details. Love it.
Yeah, so I am excited, actually. I do have them in my excited thing, but here's the issue. I'm only excited about one of them because of what we've talked about in the past, especially in this game. I don't think that Waddle and Tyreek are both going to have productive fantasy days. So I am excited about one of them. The problem is you don't know which one it is until after the game. If I had to pick, it would also be Waddle.
Yeah.
He should see mostly Eli Apple, although Chidobe Awuzie and I think that's how you say his name, and Eli Apple switch a lot. Awuzie has actually been pretty good against the pass.
He played for the Cowboys, right? He was actually a decent. He was a decent DB, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's been serviceable. Eli Apple has struggled. So I think Waddle's fine. Could I see Waddle absolutely tanking and Tyreek being the one to go off? Yeah, absolutely. Because like
any week,
Awuzie and Apple
week it could be like
both
that.
switch. Your screen is black, by the way. Hopefully that it comes up.
Yeah, you're a little bit shaky here, so I hope that evens out too.
I don't even see you. You're just on a black. I'm just looking at a black screen right now. Anyways, so yeah, in regards to the Dolphins, Waddle or Tyreek, and I don't know which one of them is going to have a game, and it actually wouldn't even surprise me if both of them busted. So I am excited about one of them because they have been very productive. Going to the other side, Dolphins, they have the third best run D against running backs specifically. Lamar carved them up, so it makes their run defense look a little worse than it actually is. But they have actually done quite well against running backs this year. Oh, there you are. Second worst in pass defense. Again, the Dolphins' stats are all kind of wonky. Keep that in mind. Giving up second most yards to tight end in the league and tied for first in targets to tight ends with 29. Tight ends are averaging about 10.3 fantasy points per game against the Dolphins. So they are not great against tight ends. They're good against running backs. I am excited about actually Chase and T. Both of them. I think that after last week, Bengals, they looked much better than they had. This line kind of signifies that as well, I believe. I think Vegas is right. I think Dolphins is got, but Vegas is always right. But I think Dolphins are just going to crash this game. I do. I think Burrow is going to have a game. I think Chase is going to have a game. I think T is going to have a game. Mixon, not all that excited about. He's also kind of banged up, so not sure what that's going to look like if they, maybe put Perrine in a little bit more to try and save Mixon. But even so, Dolphins are good against running backs. So I'm fine with Mixon because he's Mixon. Like we talked about last time, you're starting him. You're never not starting Mixon.
You have to.
You'd be an idiot to do that.
You have to start Mixon. You have to start Chase.
You have to start. And again, I also believe you have to start T. Higgins.
Got to start T, bro. Yeah.
So Chase T, I am excited about. Mixon is fine. If you have to stream a tight end, Hayden Hurst, although we went over our, and again, I'm not suggesting you even do that. I would have rather grabbed David Njoku off of the waiver yesterday than play Hayden Hurst or even Tyler Conklin. I would have rather taken them off the waivers. But again, if you have Hurst or he's your only really option, I think that that's okay because, again, the Dolphins are averaging about 10.3 fantasy points per game to tight ends.
Yeah, but just really quickly, so they played Mark Andrews, and then they played what was it, Dawson Knox or someone on whoever was getting the stuff on the Bills, right?
Yeah, so, Dawson Knox, but yeah.
I mean, Mark Andrews throw that out. Essentially, right? So, I mean, who is the starting tight end? Hey, Hurst should get some credit here. He was
Yeah, no. Hurst is fine, but he's not Andrews. Yeah, I don't
no,
even think
he's
he's
not.
Knox. I don't even think he's
And
Knox.
guys, if you're playing fantasy and Hurst is your starting tight end, you should tune in a little bit more to the videos, right? But I don't think that's a good play. I don't think I would play Hurst against anyone. Um, there's many better options out there, but yeah, Chase got to play Mixon, even though you might not like it. Hopefully, he doesn't put up a 6 point performance like he did last week. And we talked about this a little bit last night about just about that Miami receiving core and trying to predict who it's going to be,
It's
trying
going to be a
to,
nightmare all
yeah,
year.
I know, and trying to see matchups and this and that. But like, what's even crazier about that is those two, Waddle and Tyreek, are both matchup proof in terms of like their speed and
Right.
the routes that they run and just all that stuff. So yeah, man, flip a coin. But
Yeah.
if uh if Waddle is going to have mostly Eli Apple and Awuzie on the switch, if I had to pick one, I would also pick Waddle. Um, guys, you're going to play Tyreek, you're going to play Waddle, you're going to play T, you're going to play Chase, you're going to play Mixon. I would sit the Miami backfield
Oh
just
yeah.
just because it's not a backfield that I am even remotely excited about. It's a passing offense. I know Edmonds got, he got good points last week, but
Edmonds is also getting all the goal line work currently. Like Edmonds is the one scoring touchdowns. If you have to roster him,
yeah,
fine. But I'm not even close to excited about that. Yeah, I also think currently teams are still prioritizing shutting down Tyreek over Waddle.
yeah. That's a really good point. Yeah, so I think the coverage will slide over to him. Yeah, Waddle's a stream. I think the more and more we talk about it, yeah, you guys, if you have to play Chase Edmonds, if he's in there, just really quickly, and then we'll move on to the next game. But when
Chase
I
and T, real quick. Chase and T's matchups are also great. Nick Needham and Xavier Howard have been subpar
Yep,
against the pass. So again, that's really why I love Chase and T here, both of them.
both
Tyler
of them,
Boyd, really hard matchup. Not like I
yeah,
would suggest starting Tyler Boyd anyways currently, but you
yeah.
definitely don't want to this week.
Remember when you first started playing fantasy, and
When I was like 12.
yeah, when you're a wee lad, and the Thursday night game would come on, and you would put someone in your lineup like just to have someone in there to like watch
Oh
the
yeah.
game, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
rookie move, right?
Yeah.
And guys, if you have Edmonds and that's the only person, and you want someone in your lineup just to have someone in your lineup to watch the game, don't do it.
Don't do that.
Don't do
Don't
it.
do that.
Yeah.
Not if you can go elsewhere
Yes.
over Edmonds, Mostert, you do that. Mixon, of course, you're starting, but again, don't love it. It really comes down to just Chase and T. I love Chase and T. Waddle, I like better than Tyreek. Burrow, I do think is a good QB start this week. And outside of that, there is nothing.
Yeah.
Hurst, I don't like Hurst. He has 3 less targets than T. Higgins, which is good. I mean, he's getting targets, but he only has 77 yards, no touchdowns. So he's not doing anything with the targets. I do not like him. I'm just saying. Dolphins do not do well against tight ends. But let's move on to the next game.
Let's do it.
All right. We have Rams-Niners.
Good game.
Currently, we're looking. You guessed the line. What do you think the line is? Rams-Niners.
Man.
I just don't get these. And I'm usually on board with Vegas.
I would
they
imagine
know something that I don't.
I don't know, dude. I would imagine that line's pretty low.
But who do you think is favored? Niners or Rams?
Where's it being played?
At Niners.
Yeah, I bet you the Niners are favored.
I believe. Yeah,
Niners have to be favored.
Niners are favored by 2.5.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I mean, it's the same coast, same state.
No,
So,
bro, it's not. San Francisco is
I
different.
know.
Those and that defense.
Absolutely. No, I get it. But they have Jimmy G. With all due respect, it's just hard for me to imagine. Like, did you see the game last week? It was like, bro, what are we doing? I mean, it was sad to watch. 49ers are currently favored by 2.5. If you are a fan of the Rams, I may try and wait on that. See if it hits -3.
If you were a betting man.
If I was a betting man, I would try and wait for that to hit to 3, and then I would hammer Rams if that was what I was into.
Yeah.
Over under at 42, low scoring game.
42.
42 is low. I mean, to put that in perspective, the other, Dolphins Bengals is 47. I think last week's the highest was 54, and the lowest was like high 30s. So
yeah.
It's a low scoring game. Why? Because both teams have great defense.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say great defense. 49ers have a great defense. Rams, middle of the road against the pass. They are pretty good against the run. They're second best in the league against running backs. Again, specifically running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Giving up only an average of 7.6 fantasy points per game. And they have not given up a single touchdown to running backs. They also do very well against tight ends, only giving up an average of 2.5 fantasy points per game. They're actually tied for third there. They give up the fourth most points to wide receivers with an average of 32.9 fantasy points per game. That's pretty fucking high.
Who played it then? Who are those
Correct.
people that played?
That would be, again, that would be the question, is what was the schedule looking like?
Who did they play last week?
Who, the Rams?
Yeah. Well, they played Atlanta, and then they played Buffalo. So you have what, London and Diggs?
Yeah.
And Diggs had like
good receivers. Diggs had a day.
Diggs always has a day, yeah.
Yeah, week 1. So Buffalo, Atlanta, they played Arizona last week. That's right.
Yeah.
And Hollywood, your boy fucked all over him.
Did. Smooched him up.
Yeah, so, yes, they have played good receivers, and ultimately 49ers don't have great receivers outside of Debo, of course, right? Brandon Ayuk, Again, we're talking about Jimmy G throwing them the ball. Debo ultimately better as that Swiss Army knife.
I know, but just
rather
really quickly on Jimmy.
Receiver. Huh?
Really quickly on Jimmy, dude. I know I'm gonna have his back right now, right?
That's fine.
And he, that game that he played against Denver was technically his first game, of the year, because he had been a backup and that was his role, and he didn't have that great of a game. But there's something about these two teams, dude. I don't know what it is, but every time these two teams play, you know how there's just those teams in the league that one of them just has that guy's number.
Yeah,
dude. The Niners always win. I don't know what it is. They always beat the fucking Rams.
Yeah, I mean, it's a divisional matchup, right? I mean, those are typically pretty tough. They're harder. Yeah. I mean, there are some teams that just play better against. I mean, you look at the Patriots. I mean, I've been a Patriots fan since I was a little kid, back Drew Bledsoe days, Scott Zolak days. I mean, we have historically played like shit in Miami.
Yeah.
Against the fucking Jets. We have given up bad games to really bad divisional teams.
Divisional games are great, man, and it's in San Francisco, and I think Jimmy will have a coming out game. Not saying I would play Jimmy, not saying that either, but I'm just trying to have the man's back. But yeah, Debo's him.
Yeah, Debo. So actually, I have not a single player in my excited list. Even going to Cooper Kupp. I mean, and let's get into the 49ers because it just gets even worse from a playing people in this game. 49ers, second best defense in the league in yards per game, only giving up 227 on average. Best pass defense, fourth against the run. Absolutely dominate tight ends, only giving up 23 yards. That's it to tight ends. They are currently the best. They haven't played great tight ends, but still, they are currently, the 49ers are a solid fucking defense. I don't love the matchups. Let's see, the Rams kind of screw up their slot. Well, they don't screw it up, but they play Cooper Kupp and that Skowronek guy there a lot.
Yeah.
The 49ers currently have the best rated slot cornerback in Womack. Believe it or not. I mean, that dude is dominating.
Dude's a dog, dude.
Yeah, like his coverage stats are unbelievable. Currently from when I was looking, the best in the entire league. So if Cooper Kupp is in the slot, if Skowronek is in the slot, I think it's going to be a really hard matchup. Even if Cooper plays the right, because that's usually what he'll switch between right and slot, although they really do play all over the place. Allen Robinson actually currently has one of the the best matchup on that side is Allen Robinson. But I'm not excited about Allen Robinson. I'm just not. So I don't like, of course, again, do you start Cooper? Of course you start Cooper Kupp. I'm just not excited about him. The running backs, Henderson and Akers, that's a nightmare to begin with, let alone playing the 49ers defense.
No, not touching that.
What would you do? What would you if you had to pick, gun to your head, Henderson, Akers, who are you taking?
I mean, it looked last game to appear as if it was Akers' backfield, the way he was moving.
Yeah.
And he was and he was getting all the work, and he got that touchdown, and then he fumbled, right? And like we talked about this either last week or the week before, trying to decide whose backfield it is. Henderson at the goal line, Akers in the middle, different styles of running. And if you would have asked me this, I would have, like before or halfway through that game, I would have told you guys it was Akers' backfield. But he fumbled the ball. And like, I don't know, dude. Like, based off of what I've seen from Sean McVay and what he does, and like doghousing people, people fumble in the NFL. I get it. I don't know if Akers will go back to the doghouse because outside of that fumble, Akers truly looked like the better back. He looked great, and gun to my head, I would have to pick Akers.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that if you have Henderson and Akers on your roster, or if you have Akers on your roster, and I think that we talked about this in the first episode, I do see Akers taking this backfield. It just is. It's not really, to me anyway, it's not a matter of if, but when. It looks like Henderson is being more involved in that third down, those third down situations. Any type of backfield with Sean McVay, the 49ers backfield, the Patriots backfield, they're just really hard to gauge.
I don't like it.
Especially when you have a coach like McVay or like Belichick, where if they fumble, like, you are doghoused. I think Bill Belichick is the worst with that. I get it.
N'Keal Harry was in a doghouse for 3 years or 2 years. You know what I mean? So but if the Rams had a matchup against Houston or a bad run defense, and I had to pick one of them, I would feel a lot better saying whatever, like Akers or Hendo or anything like that. But I wouldn't play any running back against the 49ers, and you never should.
Yeah.
Historically, always has a great run defense. That front seven is fierce, man. Always has been. I probably always will be. But dude, I like looking at this game. Great game to watch. Divisional rivals.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an exciting game. I'm gonna be happy to tune in. I don't have anyone in my lineup playing that night, nor does my opponent this week, so I will actually be able to enjoy the game and watch
Right.
it. But
Yeah.
I don't really like anyone outside of Debo and Cup. I don't trust the Rams backfield to start one of them with confidence. I think Kittle has a bad matchup, and I personally this year just don't like Kittle. Now, I think
Just
that will,
injury problems.
and when Lance was running the offense, Lance loved Uke, Lance loved Debo, and granted, Kittle was hurt, but if you watch the preseason stuff, Uke was Lance's guy, and Kittle is Jimmy G's guy, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
Jimmy loves Kittle.
Yes,
Now,
if he can play.
and guys, if you drafted George Kittle, you're gonna play him, but that's not gonna land in the excited column. You know what I mean?
I'm not even in the fine column with that, but the only reason he's there is because his name is George Kittle.
Yeah, and that's the only
it.
reason why anyone on this slate would be in your lineup, because these are two really good defenses. I mean, every time these guys play, it's a slugfest, dude. It's not a pretty game. It's not a sexy Monday night Chiefs Rams 2-3 years ago. It's not a shootout. Like this shit's gonna be a dogfight, and the main guys are gonna get their touches. Cup's gonna get his things. Debo's gonna get his things. I like those two guys. If you had to play anyone in that running game, you're going to play Cam Akers and Jeff Wilson. Now,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be excited about either.
No.
Are you going to play Jeff Wilson?
Huh?
Are you going to play Jeff Wilson? Because I know you have Jeff Wilson.
I have Jeff Wilson in one of my big leagues where, unfortunately, I am stacked at receiver and I am short at running back. In fact, I did a trade last night. James Robinson and Drake London for Chase.
Can I be in your league?
Chase. I haven't accepted it yet because I got it super late last night. I was wicked tired and I didn't want to do something stupid. I actually just remembered that. I need to go look at that. Yeah, dude, he's 0-3. I'm 3-0. And although I think that this is a different. No, I do have Jeff Wilson in that league. That's the issue. I'm giving up James Robinson. That leaves me with Christian McCaffrey and Jeff Wilson. And then I have Rashad Penny on the bench. My running backs are short. So I have to start him. I don't have a way around it. I would start Jeff Wilson. I would start Jeff Wilson over Rashad Penny, who I have, but I am not expecting a lot from Jeff Wilson. In fact, Jeff Wilson has played them 3 times, averages 2.7 fantasy points a game. I mean, that is terrible.
Yeah, man. Both those running backs.
Cam Akers has played them once, put up 14.4 points. He had 9 attempts, 84 yards, and a touchdown. That's a good game. Darrell Henderson has played them 5 times, averages 4.1 fantasy points per game.
Jeez.
So it's even the history is falling in line with what we're expecting. I'm not excited about Jeff Wilson. I'm not excited about any of the running. But I am not excited about a single player in this game. You start Cup. You start Debo. If you have to start running backs, you start Wilson and Akers.
Mm-hmm.
Could Henderson be the one that goes off? Of course he could.
Of course.
But if I had to put my money on it, if I was a guy like that, I would be putting my money on Akers.
Yeah, if I had a guy in Dana Point that had a truck and pulled up with stacks of cash, I might do the same. But you know what's crazy is these two teams, man, are like, you know, Baltimore, New England, Rams, San Francisco. I mean, these are the teams that you really try and stay away from in the draft. You know, unless they're those big name guys, right? Like Cup or Andrews or, you know, Debo. But yeah, it's bad fantasy versus bad fantasy, you know, and
great game to watch.
Yeah.
Great game to watch. Terrible game for fantasy.
Yeah.
Even if you were playing DFS. None of these guys in DFS, I don't know how much they cost. I probably should have looked at that. But, like, this is a game that you just watch.
Yeah.
You stay away from it. Again, of course, if you have your star Cup Debo, you play them.
Yep.
You have to play Jeff Wilson. If you have to play Cam Akers, you play them. Tyler Higbee, we haven't talked about him. You don't play him. You find someone else. The 49ers have absolutely dominated tight ends. Again, Tyler Higbee gets a lot of targets. Could he have a game? Of course he could have a game, but it's not something that I am planning on. Tyler Higbee has played them 10 times. 10 times. Averages 3.8 fantasy points a game.
He has a good floor.
It's all bad.
Maybe not against the Niners, but like there's a lot of people out there that straight up punted at tight end and have Higbee in their line and are happy because he's a solid floor guy. And are gonna.
I have Higbee in one of my big leagues. He's been killing it.
And you're gonna play him, but again, like
I'm benching him. I actually benched him this week.
Who are you gonna put over? Who are you gonna put over him?
It's actually a league with flex. I have Darren Waller, so I've been starting Darren Waller and Tyler Higbee in one of my big leagues, and in fact, Tyler Higbee has been doing significantly less frustrating than Darren Waller does.
Yes.
So I have Darren Waller at tight end. I sat Higbee this week. I put somebody else in the flex. I can't remember who it was, but I saw Higbee playing the 49ers. I looked at how well the 49ers play against tight ends. Low scoring game, 42 points. You're not going to get a ton of scoring. It's a defensive show.
Yep.
I don't want any of these guys. So I think that's it. You know, Thursday night, you got Chase, you got T, you got Waddle. Tyreek, of course. I am excited about Burrow. Monday night game, I am not excited about anybody, but I am playing Cup and I am playing Depot. You have to play Jeff Wilson and Cam Akers. You're good there. This is just a game you watch. And in fact, I also like the Rams. I do think the Rams win this. I think Vegas typically gives about 2 points to the home team. At least they used to a few years ago. That was kind of the thing. The home team gets an automatic 2 points to the spread. So if that's the case here, Vegas is actually saying that 49ers are favored by about half a point.
I like the Niners.
They're giving the Niners 2 points for being at home. I think the Rams win this. But it is a tough divisional matchup. 49ers do well against the Rams. So it should be a good game. But that's all I got. What do we got for when are we doing the full slate so that everybody knows?
Yeah, so I'm going to put this out today, and then we're going to do a full slate for you guys tomorrow. So we'll release the full slate tomorrow. We will do our absolute best to we got a lot to talk about, and it's hard to not get carried away when talking about matchups and stats and players and stuff. So we're going to try and spend an isolated amount of time on each game just to keep it simplified so it's not an hour and a half long video, which is why we try to break these 2 games up into 2 games and release you guys Thursday night and Monday night, or individual isolated games, just some quick view stuff, because I know a lot of people don't have time to watch an hour-long video. I'm also going to add segments into the full slate so you guys can skip and find which games you're looking for instead of just, clicking on it and listening to me and this fool talk about who the fuck knows what for however the fuck long. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we're going to start doing more videos, and we're going to try to make them shorter and just, simplified. And we know you guys aren't trying to watch no hour and 45-minute shit.
Of this bozo yelling shit.
Yeah, Adam.
Talking all loud.
Oh, I'm talking loud today? Mr. fucking East Coast screaming, tickling my goddamn ears, bro. I can't even fucking hear sometimes. Like, seriously, bro, sometimes when you fucking talk, I'm like, and I actually fixed that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I fixed that shit.
I think West Coast people are just soft-spoken. You guys talk too quiet.
No.
Well, maybe that's the fucking problem.
No.
No?
I don't. I wouldn't imagine so, man. I soft-spoken. Yeah, not at all. East Coast people just be too fucking loud, man. No, but
reminds me of Snoop Dogg. You hear Snoop Dogg talk, and he's like whispering.
He's also high, but the platform fixed it. There's like a audio balance thing that I discovered.
An East Coast balance.
Yeah, fucking.
It senses an East Coast voice and quiets them down.
It just sees a fucking Patriots hat and a nappy ass beard. It's like, hey, do you want to control the audio here with that? Whatever fucking is fucking Adam's over there wearing a fucking 80-year-old woman blanket on his fucking.
What this?
Is that a blanket? Oh, that's a jacket.
No, motherfucker. It's a sweatshirt. It's a hoodie. I lived in New Hampshire. It's fucking cold.
I thought Jasmine's grandma might have knitted that for you, and you just put it over there. Like it got cold.
Just threw it on.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I got a blue one too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
All right. Fuck off. I gotta go back to work.
Yeah, I gotta get to work too. All right, later, guys.
Adios, everybody.
Adios.